Hi, everybody. Alex and I thought we'd get together today because a lot of our clients have been asking us about working remotely and getting used to working from home. And we've been doing that for the last 5 years or so. So we thought we'd have a bit of a conversation about some of the things we do when we're working from home that makes that easy for us and makes that less stressful. And hopefully some of you can get some value from that. And rather than talking to you one by one, we thought we'd put this out here on LinkedIn and on Facebook and wherever you're finding this, so you can hear us chat about it. But Alex, thanks for taking the time. I know you're in the middle of lots of Teams calls at the moment. How's home?
But it's good. I feel like I'm getting a lot done, which is nice. There's some less distractions because I'm not in the office, but obviously there's some pros and cons of being here. That's for sure.
All right, let's kick straight off. What's your top tip for new work from homers? How do you make yourself comfortable working at home?
Get ready. So get ready as if you're going to work. So you need to get up in the morning, put on a shirt or something like that, or whatever. Yes, get dressed as if you're going to the office. It just sort of lets you get into that mindset that you're differentiating your home life to your work life. So yeah, that'd be my top tip. And take breaks as well. So around the same time that you would normally go for lunch, go away from your desk. Don't eat at your desk and things like that. Go to the kitchen, go outside, if you've got a veranda, etc. Eat lunch outside. You really need to separate, your home and your work life as much as you can in that confined space.
Yeah, I can absolutely attest to that. I think one of the biggest things for me working from home is the ritual, is getting up, having breakfast, getting ready for work. One thing that I find really helpful is to actually have a bit of a process of like going outside before I start my work day, when I'm obviously going to be in a room most of the time. So yeah, they're definitely building that routine, just like you're going to the office, is definitely one thing that I find really, really effective.
I've seen a lot of tips from some of my connections and things like that are saying, go have a commute to work, go for a walk. I can't do that. I'm in self-isolation at the moment. But things like that really, really help you get into that headspace.
Yeah, I think I read probably the same article. It was like, go for a walk in the mornings to replace the commute. I think it's a really great idea. Obviously, yeah, for those of you isolating, don't do that. But yeah, it is really important to have that routine, I think. One thing that I do, and I invested in over time, I guess, is get really comfortable office furniture. At our offices, we're really fortunate to have nice chairs and great desks, and for most people, like adjustable desks, so sit stand. At home, often we don't make those same investments, but the biggest change that I made to my working from home life was getting a decent camera for my monitor, so that I could be looking forward, and getting a good chair. Like being comfortable is super important.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't skimp on the chair. Obviously, monitors, a 1080p monitor is so easy to come by these days. We've got Facebook Marketplace, we've got Gumtree, even brand new, they're $100, $200 kind of thing. But the chair, the desk is a good one.
So good luck finding one right now. I was at Officeworks the other day looking for a webcam for one of the guys who didn't have one at home. And there is not a lot of stock. There's not a lot of stock of monitors, webcams, microphones, headsets. Like if you don't have some of these tools already, then good luck finding one, because they're worth their weight in gold right now.
I guess with that, I mean, the majority of modern laptops these days have those sort of things built in. Is there a tip you've got in terms of positioning the laptop, or?
Look, I think the really challenging thing you have with laptops is that you are looking down. So the reason I bought a webcam as well as the one that's built into my laptop is I can be looking up at the screen, looking up at the camera. So I would definitely suggest that people don't spend their whole time like crouched over their laptop. Make sure you always use a laptop at a desk. As much as they are called laptops, working on your lap is just not a great way to work from home. It's just not productive, and it's really bad for your posture.
Absolutely. I think we've all been on plane rides and things like that where we're working on our laps, and then you get out and your back is just sort of aching after those few hours. So
let's talk about the tools, though, the software. So this is the biggest question we get. I've been getting this week is like, what do I use? Do I use Zoom? Do I use Teams? What do I use? From a communication platform, like obviously we use Microsoft Teams all the time. It's kind of just built into how we work.
Yeah.
My advice is use whatever you have. If your organization uses the Microsoft stack, Microsoft Teams is a really great tool, and it's really quick to learn, really quick to use. But if you guys are using Zoom, it's free as well. So get it, use it, over communicate. That's, I guess, one of the both a tech tip and interaction tip is use these tools to communicate just like you would in the office. Start up a call and have a chat with somebody.
That's it. If you're using Teams, obviously the channel feature is really, really fantastic because you can group people by the projects they're working on and things like that. So it allows communication to be really, really clear. I definitely think within whatever software you are using, create those micro groups so as not to annoy people who aren't really relevant to the conversation, but also to inform greater audiences at once. That's a really good tip. The other thing is collaborative documents. If you share documents online, be it in a document management system, SharePoint, etc., it actually allows you to work on documents, obviously, from a cloud-based environment. So as if you were next to the person. So that'd be my tip as well.
That's obviously a bit more in our wheelhouse too, right? For people who have good document management systems, they're already getting these benefits. And I think I was saying to some of the team earlier this morning, like, this is not new software. This is not a new thing to have to work remotely. In our organization, we're across, even just in this country, we're across 6 different offices. So there's a bunch of the time where we're actually not together. You do need a great document management system and a great workflow that can help move documents around.
I mean, some of the time when we're in the same office, we get lazy and we message each other on Teams and just say work from this location, new document. So it's very much the normal for us. I mean, no one's invented software in the last week or two to provide these features. It's always been there for the last many, many years. Obviously, there's a greater need for it given the current state of the world and those impacts that they're having. So I definitely think the time to utilize that functionality and those features is definitely greater than ever.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people really can do is look at your workflows, look at the ways you're engaging with your documents and the processes. Like, one of McKinsey's top 5 recommendations was to automate your finance processes now. And I think that's a really big message that clients have been asking us about this week. Is we've been thinking about doing this for a while, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, you should definitely do it. Don't wait until this happens again. You need to take action to automate. A lot of our clients. Sorry, go ahead.
Just you mentioned workflows there. So what are your key takeaways? What are the key benefits of having workflow tools as opposed to just sharing things via email?
Look, I guess the contrast is the big difference there immediately, right? You just mentioned email, but imagine trying to audit the approval trail. If you're doing that by email, you're gonna have to find all of those emails, store them with the documents. You're probably gonna print a bunch of that out. That's a real challenge from an audit perspective, and from a compliance perspective. If you haven't got your delegation of authority matrix mapped into a workflow system, you're not going to map it into Outlook, right? So it's really easy to lose track of documents. The major thing I would say with workflows is you need to start small and build out. A lot of people are trying to pick up these really complex business processes and just drop them straight into a workflow tool. You're not going to be able to do that tomorrow. You're going to have to spend some time thinking about how to get that in there in the right way. But definitely now is the time to start looking at what tools you're going to be using if you're not using anything. The clients of ours that have already adopted are the ones who are reaping the benefits of being able to just keep going, keep working from wherever they are. The clients who haven't are the ones who are really in strife.
Yeah. I've been I've touched base with a few of our customers recently, and just with how they're going throughout things, and a lot of them have just started a work from home policy, and obviously with their workflow automation tools that they've got available, it's kind of business as usual for them. They're doing exactly the same job with the same efficiencies in a slightly different desk environment. So
I guess that's what really started this conversation, right? Is that the customers who don't have those solutions, who are stuck right now, have been talking to us about what they can do, but look, I think for people who might be watching this, the major thing you can do is start. It's never too early to get in contact with somebody to talk about how to automate your process. We just don't know what this is going to look like, but I think what we're really seeing is, just like after global financial crisis, just like after the Brisbane floods, we're going to find that this is our new normal. Working from home, having a dispersed team, having that distributed workload is going to be the new normal. So it's really time to start thinking about what tools you have that empower that, how you track your compliance and your audit trail during that time, and how you make sure that people are on task. There's heaps of research out there right now. I'm sure Google is seeing a massive spike in work from home statistics searches. But there's loads of organizations that have work from home policies, and less than 56% of managers actually allow their staff to use their work from home policy because there's a lack of accountability and a lack of trust. With workflow tools, you can report really easily on the output for a day, and so it doesn't have to be a conversation. These are the things that I guess we're talking to clients about, right?
It's funny that you mentioned the Brisbane floods and obviously the impact that had. So of course everyone lost their paper documents and things like that, their filing cabinets. Everyone sort of moved towards a cloud environment and online sort of document management systems. You don't move away from that once you've recovered. No one says, let's go back to our old technology.
Exactly.
I'm getting a lot of questions from customers at the moment, Mark, or potential customers and people seeking advice, just saying, well, do I need this in 3 to 6 months kind of thing? What happens when this is over then and everyone goes back to the office? And I guess the big thing there is, does everyone go back to the office? A lot of companies at the moment are spending insane money to get everyone set up to work from home. I don't really think in 6 months, 100% of the workforce, even 80% of the workforce is going to go back to that office environment.
Look, I really don't think people are going to go back 100% of the time. I think if you're getting used to working from home, you're probably going to keep working from home at least some of the time. But the other major thing is, if you put systems in place now to automate your process, or even just for work management so you can see what people are doing, you're not going to pull them out again, and they're going to keep giving you value over time. The major concern I have is those organizations that are pretty much just sticking their head in the sand and saying, we're not going to do anything, we're just going to ride this out. That's really the concerning thing. People who refuse to act or are going to wait till it's too late. Those are the clients that I'm really worried about at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting statistic. So the average life of expectancy of a Fortune 1000 company in the 70s was 75 years. Now, in a Fortune 1000 company, it's actually 15 years. And of course, it's global crises like this that actually force those closures because people don't react quickly. Be that because they don't have the data to do so, or they don't have the visibility that, and the management team just doesn't have that ability to rapidly quicken, pivot if they need to. I think it's a real concern.
There's also there's heaps of people who are going to be out of work soon. What we're going to find is if we can't give them access to our resources, we can't bring in new people. It's a really difficult thing to train and onboard people, as we find too. It's the onboarding and the training is a real time drain. But if you've got your processes automated, or even just in a workflow where it's managed and the same steps happen over and over again, those clients of ours that have that, they're the ones that are able to bring on as many people as they need to work in their process as their business scales back up. The great thing about automating is that you can scale without having to retrain. You can scale in many cases without actually having to get that many more people. So there's lots to do there. But look, I guess this isn't a sales pitch. It's just a chat. These are the questions that our customers are asking us. The reason we thought we'd document this and put it up on LinkedIn in a bit of an unconventional format is that we're hearing lots of you ask us about this. But if you do have questions about how to automate your finance processes, reach out, talk to Alex or I or any of our team. We'll be really happy to help you.